Watcher of Cadnua, if I might have a moment of your time. You've passed into the realm of death and returned since we last spoke. Or so I've heard. Intriguing.
Archmage, I would not expect you to remember me from the Gal and Periki's Overlook, but you gave some excellent career advice.
What advice was that?
You told me to quit and get a job that didn't waste my talents. Took a little while, but here I am.
I seek a truant member of the Circle of Archmagi, Maura. She sent rather cryptic word that she'd found something of cataclysmic potential in the Black Isles, something that could aid you in the fight against Aothas. You've aided the Circle of Archmagi once before. We've found ourselves wondering if you might do so again. A Huana wizard, and a member of the Circle of Archmagi.
She specializes in magic involving tentacles. It's a niche field.
Perhaps we solve more than you think. Perhaps we simply don't advertise to the common kith how often Aora comes to the brink of destruction.
Maura specializes in the most repugnant corners of Arcana. If she found something of value, it is almost certainly disgusting. If you intend to search for her, take me with you.
As soon as you're able. Maura's drive is frightening, foolhardy, and her love of the Deadfire, uncompromising. If she's found some method of stopping Aothas, we must make sure she doesn't destroy Aora in an attempt to save her archipelago. I will await you in the Black Isles, a volcanic chain in the southeastern sea, due south of Tikawara. Don't tarry over long, Watcher. You came as requested. Excellent. I believe the entrance is... Ah, here we are. A moment, if you would.
You calling me a cheat?
Filthy lying ground stink doesn't play fair. Rolled a 10! Stupid wizard, I rolled 10!
Dropping the dice isn't the same as... what? That was the biggest one yet! Look at us standing on the fault line of sanity! Hello up there! Huh, didn't see it come in. Welcome to the Halls Obscured. My friend and I were just passing the time of the game and enjoying these little shakeups.
We not friends. Stupid wizard is a stupid cheat.
No matter where I go, dim-witted imps and archmagi are always in my shadow.
Hey, there's a familiar face. Weren't you the one who spilled soup in my lap at Archimir's annual gala? I'm Tane, the Archmage. Maybe you've seen my chaotic orb bouncing around. It's really something.
What are you doing here, Tane? How did you even get in?
I got in through a hole. That one, right through there. You must have walked straight past it when you were topside. Isn't this something? I came searching for Maura and got distracted. Don't you just love a good antechamber? Even if this one has a few embellishments. I asked myself the same question when I got here. Tentacles, eyeballs, labyrinth? It could be anything. I'd still be dumbfounded if I hadn't learned it all from Maura's own words. Here, she left this behind. I don't think she expected anyone to follow.
She believes we stand atop the body of Wal. That would explain the powerful arcane energies here, though I doubt the other gods' bodies were quite so friendly.
Yes, just look at it. Hard to unsee, even if you close your eyes.
While riding my dragon across the White March, I came across an unimaginably large skeleton. Legend would have us believe it is the fallen form of Abaddon. The Circle has been speculating on the existence of the god's bodies ever since. This body is a good deal fresher than Abaddon's. We'd believed them all gone. Not just dead, but destroyed by the god's own hands. Obliterated. This one, it's still alive.
You presume such a thing can even die?
Makes you wonder what has Maura so excited.
Whatever you are thinking, no. We should bury the Sanctum before it becomes our tomb.
As nice as it is to take in the scenery, is everyone else thinking what I'm thinking? Huh? I mean, the answer's staring us in the face, literally.
No one understands your manic rambling, Tane. Speak plainly or be quiet.
He gets it. Look, we have an unconventional problem, and it needs an unconventional solution. I don't think Maura came this far just to hug some tentacles. She wants to wake up Wal's body and send it after Aothas.
Madiko, if Maura doesn't get us all killed, Tane surely will.
I have my doubts that a single archmage could exploit a body this amazing for self-interest alone. No, she's gotta have bigger plans. Hasn't our Maura always said that a well-placed tentacle can solve most of life's problems? If she wants to take a swing at the big green guy, who are we to stop her?
It's speculative to assume that Maura even wants to awaken Wal. Doing so would involve meddling in matters far beyond her comprehension.
Or something she understands all too well. You don't know. Give her some credit, Len.
You give her more than enough for the both of us, and far more than she deserves. If Tane's presumption is correct, Maura cannot be allowed to go through with her plan. However altruistic her motives may be, she endangers us all.
Agree to disagree. We can talk about this later. Delightful company, bit of a talker, carries on long conversations with reflective surfaces.
She's an avid researcher into the summoning of tentacles, an arcane domain few among the Circle have any skill with. I'm surprised she hasn't embroiled herself in madness of this magnitude sooner. What is there to be made? The gods, in their wisdom, laid to rest their Titan forms. Surely it was with good reason. Imagine the destruction they must have wreaked upon Kit's society when they had the run of the world.
The Watcher doesn't need to try very hard to imagine it. Remember Cadnua? Poor Castle never had a chance.
Think WoW would make us a new one if we woke them up? They'd owe us, wouldn't they?
How about you spearhead our little search party? Len and I will keep an eye on this handsome antechamber where it's safe, or in case she doubles back. Fair warning, when I was poking around, I ran across some creepy librarian types. They were happy to look the other way as long as I didn't disturb their work.
In the meantime, Tane and I will see if we might learn more about Wal's Titan form.
Why else? To make my life miserable.
You know, I was enjoying their company so much that I never once thought to ask.
Came from stinking Arkamir's house. Was told to help stupid Watcher groundmate.
You can help us by shutting your mouth. By now, the echo of your screams will have crippled any element of surprise.
Master gave orders to fetid spray. Come talk when ready, eh? Special orders for you too, nasty Facina.
Brilliantly done. What fluttering marvels they are, imps. Well, question answered then? You weren't alone, you brought friends.
We are colleagues. There is a distinction.
Besides, Len and I, our kind don't work well in pairs. We'd probably disagree, separate the party, and get everyone killed.
More like you'd get us killed. No matter how Tane whines, Wal's body, if that's what this is, mustn't be awoken. The Deadfire cannot bear another calamity of Aothas' scale.
I concur, and I know Arkemir would agree as well. A single error in judgment could cost us our lives, maybe more.
What happened to your spirit of adventure? Watcher, friend, are we on a first-name basis yet? Call me crazy, but I think you should do whatever feels right. What's the worst that could happen? Huh. And you're saying that's the bad outcome, am I right?
I would hate to see what he considers the good outcome.
We can continue this debate later. Right now, our chief concern is locating Maura. Maura could have only gone two places. Up in the archives to the northeast, or down into the collections to the southwest.
Maura's journal suggests she went to the archives first, but that could always be a decoy. I did hear some unpleasant noises coming up from the collections. Hope she's okay.
If you'll begin a search of the wings, we'll scour this area for further information.
So, wizards tricked you into coming here too, eh? Imps, no. Imps watch you running around, fixing each other's ground stink problems. Wizards lie. Wizards are worse people. But Drowsy Puke fix everything, eh? Help you relax. Drowsy Puke wants Kith to dream, eh? Rest giant weary head. Smart ground stink just let Drowsy Puke know when he wants rest, eh? You think Arkemir gets to sleep without drugs? Essence of white leaf, milled Gainsveth seeds, powdered dragon bone for sweetness, eh? Maybe you're not as dumb as you look. Takes battering ram of herbs to knock out Archmage. Good thing Drowsy Puke is smart, imp. Can do both. Drowsy Puke enjoys job, learns from job. One kith at a time, numb you all to sleep.
Tell me, how do you feel? This melange is experimental and prone to some unpredictable side effects. Better that I don't tax your mind with inane questions. You're going on quite the voyage, my friend.
What if all pets are just one pet, but we see them through a variety of lenses? Like dancing shadows cast by a campfire against a barn wall. I should have killed the old bastard! Should have teared his arm clear off! If the laddie hadn't stopped me.
It was supposed to be a joke. A spark bomb just to scare him. He shouldn't have caught fire. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, Father, don't make me leave. I'll die out there.
You still alive? That's enough for dumb ground stink. Don't know your face, ground stink. You the one I'm supposed to find? They let you sail boat? Master told Fetid Spray to bring baubles to Sanctuary. Offer to stupid ground meat for coin. Here, from Master. Master's most glorious words. This one for stinking Fasina.
Que? What does Arkemir want? I don't work for him any longer.
Ungrateful ground stink has her orders. So, what does Master want? Aha! What that mean, eh? More god stinks walking in statues?
If we are lucky, that will be the extent of our problems.
Well, try not to die then. I no care.
I'm afraid so. Before I taught him a lesson, this little stinker was fond of relieving himself in my wardrobe.
Nasty Fasina smelled so nice. Books and inkwells. Made her smell like imp instead. That never wash out! Meh, Master trusts fetid spray to handle coin. That means his best imp, most trusted friend. Fetid spray is loyal, eh? Not like some. Complacency will be Master's undoing, huh? We dismantle his manor from basement to roof. Terrible imp plots against Master, eh? You worst friend!
I do not believe the swishy things are meant to clean up blood.
Swishy thing? Do you mean a broom?
Yes, broom. That is the word. Broom, broom, broom. Broom. It does not sound like a word anymore.
These are the archives. The accumulated lore of those who see without being seen. Do not remove the books from the shelves, lest you face reprisal. Do not interfere with the work of the archives, and its librarians will not interfere with you. Furthermore, the Oracle has limited patron admittance to the lower levels only. Trespassers in the upper floors will face reprisals. Not at all. These librarians were retired by an intruder wearing a mask. I'm afraid not. A woman matching that description did ask access to the vault, however. We did not grant her request. Both intruders have entered the quarantined section to the east. We have not pursued, as that section is under quarantine. For your safety, please avoid the eastern stacks. They have been contaminated. The contamination will be remedied within 5 to 15 years. Please keep further conversation to a minimum.
Real friendly sorts.
The gods strip us of who we are on every turn about the wheel, mercilessly shaving off all we've learned with their divine lathes. We retain the pale shadows of our souls, but knowledge, memory, self, all of it is cut away. Do the gods fear we might someday rival their strength if they do not? The trees of Air Glanfath possess souls as strong as any kith, and their entangled roots extend for miles. But dig beneath any of them, follow those roots, and you'll see they don't end, but lead to a neighbor. They're many souls sharing one body. Why shouldn't willing kith be able to do the same? The gods see fractured souls, but they don't care for them. Damaged, broken people are abandoned by their makers to twist in the wind, given no succor, no relief. Would an intentionally fractured soul be similarly inconsequential to them? I will use their apathy against them. I will make their disdain serve me. A limb may be grafted from one tree to the trunk of another, and in time, they'll bear sweeter fruit together than either might have alone. Mightn't it be possible, then, to graft the scion soul to the rootstock of a willing kith? The souls wouldn't fracture, but coalesce. They'd grow stronger together. We are the Archmage Lengrath. What are you?
Talking swords, talking fish, and now talking mold? Madiko, wake me up when something keeps its mouth shut.
You want me to help you stitch yours up?
Human. Vertical. Efficient.
Usually.
Your vessel essence is compatible with Lengrath's song. Now you will accept our excrescence.
Casita, I know that you enjoy new experiences from time to time, but this thing wants to infest you, replace you, make you into a mushroom. Just thought I'd make that clear in case there was any confusion.
Maura, Archmage. She fled us after we tried to categorize her with Lengrath, and locked herself behind a stone door to the south. A spell opened the way for her, and we did not follow. In her haste, she dropped her book. The masked pretender followed close behind. When Lengrath is shared, it is a communion. Yes, something of the collections that reeked of magic and dead soil. Waylaying it was not our desire. We have seen the harm it can inflict. It has no place among us. Questions are a spoilage of energy. Once you submit to Lengrath, we will claim what we lost as a water tax.
A term that refers to an unusual growth. It wants to make you part of itself.
Lengrath must spread, must carry on the old tradition. We must grow. Your vessel is satisfactory. Your soil, appropriate. Your utterance is a disagreeable evasion. Lengrath is a thought vine stretching between gardens, and our roots have touched his oldest song. Unproductive to debate with a vessel. You will understand shortly when your song joins ours. How fragrant your song. How musical your life water. We long to subsume them into Lengrath. But we are not pain-cruel as our captors were to us. We seek to endure, to flower as beautifully as you.
Interesting how your first impulse was to make friends with the fungus. Did it ever occur to you that some friendships are not worth the trouble?
The Spore Lands were our soil and shadow. Then, a great hand plucked us and potted our heart bulb behind walls. In growth time, we wriggled through the cracks of our enclosure. Now, we are here, a garden of language, where we found Lengrath. Now we grow as Lengrath, sing his thought song. Now we grow toward the body radiating light and water. When our spores touch the heart, we can be truly free. Affirmation. Delightful. The body garden is marred by inefficiencies, but we will optimize its storage growth. Our spore lands will thrive anew. Obstruction. Lengrath requires fresh soil. If you would delay us, then we will dismantle the blockage. A grafted soul is obscured from the sight of the gods. It spreads freely like a blood fever. but doesn't kill its host. No, I will be a fever of the spirit. Invisible, unstoppable, eternal.
Casita, I'm glad we have this chance to talk. I have not properly thanked you for taking me away from that place. That shop and my apprenticeship were like a diving bell, dragging me all the way to the bottom with barely enough air to survive. Arkemir was fond of tormenting me. If he had taught me anything of substance, I might even have endured his wretched company a while longer. Though, it is possible that Arkemir's lessons were not obvious ones. In any case, now I am free to study the world, and it is because of you. So, now I will say it. Agrasima. What a question. Arkemir is elusive. That flamboyant house of his? It is all a performance, a mask that people will not think to peer beneath. I had a sneaking suspicion that he knows more about magic than the rest of the circle combined. Or maybe he is just an accomplished liar. I may never know the truth. It is a funny thing. I was so quick to chase my ambitions, as if an apprenticeship would outline the course of my life. In the end, I was building a castle in the sand. The taller it rose, the harder the waves swept in to batter it down. Now I have no plan, and the uncertainty is a refreshing change. Plumbing the holes obscured. This is no small task. Tread lightly, Casita. Nothing I saw in Arkemir's employ suggests that we should hold the circle to its word. Not so long ago, an Adiran village was discovered to be resting on a vein of silver. Conflict erupted between the townsfolk and prospectors who wanted to buy up the land. The circle sent Kalakoth with some block-headed spell to extract the ore from the ground up. She succeeded in opening a sinkhole that swallowed the town. None of the villagers lingered to protest once their houses were gone. And now the circle owns half of the jewelry shops in Edir. Does this sound like the work of an honest group? You assume right. And all the while they will lie to you through their smiles. They will not miss an opportunity to use your power to further their ends, even if it kills you. Ask me anything, Casita. The worst I will give you is an honest answer. I came to the archipelago as a groveling apprentice. One day, I hope I will leave it with a speck more dignity than that. What more could you desire to know, Casita? Not if it means I must submit to a bickering council of madmen plotting against each other. If I ever scribed a spell, it would be the best-kept secret in Eora. Only I would enjoy the satisfaction of knowing it. Fascina's mirthless laugh. Fascina's prickling pox. No, I have it. Fascina's withering glare. I like the sound of that. Being a part of the circle has its little perks, but also some headache-inducing responsibilities. At least one member must always watch over the Deadfire and see that matters do not fall into total disarray. Arkemir wanted the job about as much as he wanted to lance a boil on his deflated scrotum, but the alternative was giving stewardship to Maura. No one in the circle trusted her with the archipelago. With trading companies dividing up the islands, they didn't think a Huana could stay detached. They also hate tentacle magic. During the changing of the guard, while a handful of imps loaded Arkemir's ship for the journey south, I stowed away in a dresser. Once we were at sea, I made my presence known. A dozen imps tore at my hair and pushed me towards the railing. When Arkemir saw me struggle, he didn't step in to help. He just gave me work. I did what I could to make myself useful. Stitched the sails, disciplined the imps. That one impressed him most of all. By the end of the voyage, I had the little stinkers saluting me as I passed. When we made port in Neketaka, he introduced me as his apprentice and installed me at the cupboard for a life of clerical drudgery. You know the rest. I was searching for a life beyond the cupboard, and that handsome oaf was blessed with a silver tongue. Came in handy when he was licking the boots of his creditors. I don't regret our time together. That was just a different Fascina. I have always dreamed of opening a magic shop in Neketaka. That was a joke. When I set out on this path, I discovered quickly that magic is all tied up in grammar, precision, and insufferable rules. Take a grimoire, for example. Misplace an accent mark over a rune, all the logic of a spell collapses around it.
And you'd prefer something more ill-defined why, exactly?
I don't want to break the rules of magic, but I want to rewrite some of them. Loosen them up so that any sharp mind can take up the study. The Circle would hate that, wouldn't they? If they could not reinforce their superiority over the rest of us, they might even disband. You assume a great deal, Casita. When they are not striding across an island, the gods concern me about as much as Eora's moons. Religion was never very important to me. I do not expect that to change now that the gods have revealed their petty, narrow-minded ways. I heard a member of your crew whispering of this, but I am pleased to have it confirmed. Knowing this forbidden truth, does it change anything for you? Belfetto. If the gods are not as legitimate as we once assumed, does this make them any less our gods? Does it make your Ardra Colossus retrace his steps back to Cad Nua? As far as revelations go, this one is not very poignant for me. Maybe I'm just the wrong audience. Nothing takes me by surprise. Ask away, Casita. Keep an eye on Maya. I'll say no more than that. I do not hate Tekehu for his arrogance. I only hate that he deserves it. Shoti is like a beautiful tree with poisoned roots. Her smile is the bark which hides the rot. Your friend Aloth carries himself with confidence, but to me he seems like a small animal in search of shelter. Always constant and hovers over me, asking to recommend him exciting books, as if I would ever touch fiction. Seraphin has a large heart, but he hides it under foul language. This is something I can understand. In Pallegina, I see a little something of myself, but she takes it to an unhealthy place. Without leadership and a mission, I think she would cease to exist.
Hey, you. Glad we finally get a chance to talk, one-on-one, away from the rest of the rabble.
I can hear you, Tane. I'm right here.
It's good that we're on the same page with all of this. You know, Wow and his great big body. All right. Between the two of us, I did a little exploring of my own before you showed up. You haven't been to the collections yet, have you? It's just down that way. You'll hate it. There's a bunch of different people trapped in there. Lots of kith in some kind of stupor. I think they've been here a long time.
Kids blame imps for everything.
The prisoners, it's like this place tore out everything that made them them and left a bunch of statues behind. Except statues don't usually shamble around and cry. Take this. It's a spell that should wake the prisoners up again. Just make sure you read it somewhere they'll all hear it. Amazing, right? Okay, you got me. I took the words from my chaotic orb and moved a few runes and accents around. Instead of dealing mayhem and fun, the spell blasts people with memories. Perfectly safe. Head west out of this fine antechamber and the collections are right down the stairs. Can't miss it. Maybe they knew too much? Rare information seems to be the currency of this place. I'd suggest that you ask one of the prisoners, but they aren't very talkative. Let me try and put it in terms we both understand. This place has a way of unplugging people's heads and letting the memory stuff drain out. All that stuff kind of blends together. The memory of someone's first kiss gets stuck to the memory of the price of hagfish. My spell gathers the memory stuff into kith-sized chunks and stuffs them back into people's heads. No one leaves with the same memories they came in with, but at least everyone gets an equal slice.
That sounds neither responsible nor wise, even for a circle archmage.
Tane wants us all to be as mad as he is.
Sorry if I got a little technical there. Of course not. See, a brain needs memories like a sewer needs waste. Without the waste, it's all just tunnels. Give it a little time and these prisoners will be their old selves again, just with some extra fun. Maybe someone will wake up and realize they can play the harpsichord or speak Valian. Wouldn't that be a nice surprise, huh? I hope you can do some good down there. I hate to see so many people without a single good idea between them, you know? Like the Deerwood.
Deerwood has plenty of fine ideas. Most involving fire, and things you can set on fire.
This guy right here. What a sport. If there was a day in Wizard College when they talked about god bodies, I might have slept through it. Based on what we've seen, I'd say Maura used this place to nail down her tentacle spells. Lucky her, there's tons of inspiration here. What? The prospect of sending a mountain of eyes and tentacles to wrestle Aethys isn't enticing enough for you? Wouldn't it be boring to let a body like that molder and rot? I think we can do better. I think Aora deserves better. Even if it knocks over a castle or two, I think the fun will justify the cost.
Says a wizard who clearly ain't ever had a castle.
My father donated to all the best colleges. I earned a couple of free degrees until I found something I was actually good at.
Tain is an insult to the very concept of scholarship.
We all learn differently, my handsome friend. I got where I am by focusing on the things I do well and never challenging myself beyond that. Secret to success. I owe a lot to my father, including an apology. He always said he wanted an archmage in the family. Kinda backfired when I dropped the surname. It's just Tain now. Hi. Thank you. Wait, that was a compliment, right? I know I don't fit in with the rest of those book learners, but I've got it where it counts. Thinking is a big waste of time when you've got raw, unvarnished instinct on your side. If I worried about research, safety, or ethics, I never would have cast the first chaotic orb. You do know about my chaotic orb, right? That's my spell. It was really popular when I got it into circulation.
Yes, it's very round.
Oh, good. I was concerned for a second there. I worked really hard on that orb. First time I ever applied myself. Once wizards started using it all over the world, there was all this talk and fanfare. Have you seen this thing? Look at it go! Those were good times. These days, no one asks if I'm that Tain anymore. They don't tell you in Wizard College that achievement can seem downright underwhelming. Kalikoth is great. She once shouted into my face so loud that we both passed out.
Now we may speak with something like privacy. Tain has asked something of you. And you accepted. How terribly large-hearted of you. Forgive me my assumption, then. Word of your good deeds precedes you. What Tain asks of you appears a mercy, but it's only a selfish attempt to bolster his reputation. He's a devious child who delights in making the rest of us clean up his messes.
A quality common to archmages, it seems.
I have seen educated professionals trigger disasters that rival any mess Tain could produce out of ignorance. But point taken.
I'd say I resent the comment, but you're not wrong. Many of the poor souls held captive here have been so for decades. Anyone they knew is likely dead, their old lives gone. To return them to the world with nothing is a cruelty. The gods only know what havoc these broken people will wreak with the information Tain intends to give them. Lay their souls to rest. Return them to the wheel. All things die. Death is the keystone of the natural order. It's no more extreme than birth. Another chance at life through death is a far greater mercy than relegation to suffering through a dull shade of the lives they once knew. Is it not mercy to let an abused soul move on to a better existence, one free of the memory of the suffering they survived here?
You gotta talk around it that much. Maybe it ain't worth talking about.
It would have been had the librarians here not robbed them of that agency. But they did. And there are none now who will grant them mercy. But we... That's all I ask. This scroll will aid you. You need only read the incantation scribed upon it, preferably in a place where all may hear it. Their deaths will be swift and painless.